I am so disappointed in the NFL. Why is Taylor Swift always in the camera? How should I attack this? Can Cam Newton finally get his apology?
But Brock, they're not winning because of him.
He's not turning the ball over.
He's managing the game. And if we were to put that in its own right as game managers, this may ruffle a lot of feathers, but it's honest. Brock, Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers. Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, they're impacting this game in only way that they know how. So in one side, you have game managers that is in these discussions of MVP.
And when you say game manager, I'm not asking you to go out and win the game. I'm just asking you not to lose.
Not to lose the game, exactly. Listen, motherfucker, I don't give a damn what you do. You don't have to score every time. You just don't have to throw a pick every time either. If we're gonna really call a spade, there's a difference between managers of the game and difference makers of a game. That's not to say that they can't win the MVP.
I want it on national television. I want a lot of the people that clown this man that threw a bunch of negative names toward Cam Newton, saying he's bitter. He's upset because he's not in the NFL. He's old. He doesn't have it anymore. Let me get that apology right up out of you.
Well, I'm going to take this conversation and I'm going to hand it over to Shannon and Doggy. But I want to say this on national television. As a show, me personally, I owe you an apology. We owe you an apology, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because whether we agree or disagree with your synopsis, your dissection of Brock Purdy and whether he's a game manager as opposed to a game changer or anything like that, what it deteriorated into was people questioning whether you had the right to say it.
Yes, sir.
That was never the intent. You former number 1 overall pick, former league MVP, who took a team to a Super Bowl appearance with less.
Right.
At the quarterback position. So to me, it's not a matter, Shannon, of agreeing or disagreeing.
Correct.
You have the right to have the opinion that you had.
Right.
So I want to say on national television, I'm gonna take onus for that. Even though I wasn't calling you out like that. Damn it, we were talking about it on the show. Right. So you deserve an apology for that. That's all I wanted to say about that before I hand it over to y'all.
Cam Newton called it. A lot of people agree with him. A lot of people disagree with him. But since, everybody chasing ratings, everybody chasing views, everybody chasing fans tuning in. But when it comes to the truth, you want to bash the man. Brock Purdy was the reason why the 49ers lost that game. Let's be frank about this. Brock Purdy was up 10-0. Now, I'm going to be fair. It's not one position that could win over a game, but it's always that position that can change a game, dominate the game. A game changer. Shout out to Brock. But buddy old pal, did you lose that game for your team? I don't know who to be disappointed at more. The 49ers defense or the play calling on offense. Brock Purdy made it to the Super Bowl with nothing but elite players around him. Before it got to overtime, Brandon Ayuk only had 2 receptions. How the Ravens lost to the Kansas City Chiefs for relying on the run game. Y'all want to rely on a run game? That's not what you need to do when facing the Chiefs. You need to put points on that board. The Ravens lost because they tried to make Lamar Jackson a pocket quarterback when that's not his ability. His ability is use his legs, get out the pocket when it's corrupted, or when the defense is giving him that opportunity to gain some yards. Now, what the 49ers did is the utmost disappointing vision of how to take down the Kansas City Chiefs. You're up 10-0. Y'all got the ball back and give it right back. What the Chiefs do, they march down the field and get a field goal. Now it's 10-3, right? Now, I watched the game, and Super Bowl 58 has by far been the most boring Super Bowl in my time watching the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, it was a minute and some seconds left before the half. They started marching down the field. Defense getting his own from Steve Wilkes. This is why they talked about him. And I can't really go after Steve Wilkes because a lot of teams do this. When teams have the upper hand, you start seeing a defensive coordinator start giving Patrick Mahomes breathing room. They put their defense in zone. Now he marching down the field. Y'all was stopping him the whole first quarter, even the whole second quarter. Y'all stopping Patrick Mahomes from even getting leverage. You know, his weapons is not all that. I can't name one legit wide receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs. All they have is Travis Kelce. Who else? A running back that can catch from out the backfield? I digress, man. Look, it was horrible watching this. I'm disappointed because I wanted Christian McCaffrey to get his ring. He was becoming injury prone. That's what we thought. He looked like he was coming injury prone. His injuries came off of freak accidents. People not even hitting him. That happens. It's the NFL. But you don't let go of a player such as his caliber. You just don't. I'm going to be honest. I was one of those fans that was ready to move off of Christian McCaffrey. But hold on, let me respond. The reason why I wanted to move off of Christian McCaffrey, our offense was being ran by a running back. He's not a quarterback. He's not a wide receiver. I don't even like forcing the ball to one player. I like spreading the ball to other receivers. That's why the Cincinnati Bengals was so successful with Joe Burrow, because he got to spread the ball. I didn't want a running back dictating the offense. Teams already knew what we were doing. All they had to do was cover Christian McCaffrey or stop the run. When you have a yes man at general manager and a owner that wants to listen to the fans, this is what happened. They want to do what the fans say to do instead of looking and having a vision for their offense or defense of scheme. There's a lot of players that you need to keep, put under contract, and build around them. I feel bad moving off Christian McCaffrey. Seeing him, with a successful organization such as the 49ers, they're not missing much. They're not even missing a quarterback. All they're missing is a legit offensive coordinator that'll call some correct plays. Stop handing the plays to a head coach. He let that game get away from him. He wanted to rely on a run game. They were moving the ball with Christian McCaffrey and gaining some positive yards. But at the end of the day, y'all kept running to the right side. And y'all turned the ball over or got a kick, missed your opportunity because you want to rely on the run game when you need to throw the ball on the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have a defense. They don't even have an offense. Patrick Mahomes is the reason why they continue to be in the playoffs, continue to make it to the Super Bowl. Now, third quarter, 49ers couldn't even score, not even get a kick. The Kansas City Chiefs put up 10, right? So now you got the 49ers getting this mojo like, oh man, we got to score. You already had the upper hand. Steve Wilkes put the defense in his own, but Shanahan was throwing darts at Wilkes like it's his fault for the defense, going his own or whatever scheme he put. You don't go on air and bash a coach if you're the head coach after a loss. You're creating this negative environment in a locker room, whether it's with the players or the other coaches. Like, the Niners is not a trash team. They're not missing much. So why would Shanahan go and create that negative energy in the locker room. It's early in the season and you want to attack Steve Wilkes. He's not a horrible defensive coordinator. I wish the Panthers would have kept the man at defensive coordinator. But we let him go. We got Evero. Evero is legit as well. Even with injuries, Evero had the defense in a top 5 situation at the end of the season with injuries. The negative energy that Shanahan has done throughout the season, I feel like Shanahan is an overrated coach. He's too big-headed. He point fingers too much. I don't like a coach like that. I didn't even like Frank Wright. You know, how he handled the press conference, telling everything like he's an upset teenager. If you knew you ain't have no leverage, why take the job? But back to the Niners. They need a legit offensive coordinator. Purdy should be their guy, but it was a very disappointing Super Bowl. I was bored. I know the Niner fans is sick to their stomach. And they finna start pointing fingers, but they finna miss the elephant in the room. It's Shanahan. There's no way you give Brandon Ayuk 2 receptions. The only reason why he had triple receptions is because they went to overtime. Y'all tried playing safe ball, keep away with Patrick Mahomes. Y'all tried throwing blows with him. That's not how you beat him. You have to put points on the board when the opportunity is there. I feel bad for Christian McCaffrey. He was this close to getting his first Super Bowl and the MVP. So looking at the fourth quarter, Niners finally put up points. They put up 9. They did, the Chiefs did block one of their kicks. I don't believe this was a setup game for the Chiefs to win. You didn't see the referees really get involved with plays that shouldn't be called as a flag. You didn't see the referees doing that this game. It was a fair game. I just believe they let the foot off the gas when it came to battling Patrick Mahomes. So fourth quarter, 9-6. That was a tie game. Now they go to overtime. They won a toss, march down the field, get a kick. I was disappointed because to force the ball to Deebo Samuel. And it was sad to see because all you see is slants, mid-range. You don't see no deep ball action. And the 49ers have the weapons to do so. I even hate watching the Bills play with Josh Allen. He forced the ball to Diggs so much. You have weapons around you. Why are you forcing the ball? You're losing games that you shouldn't lose because you have that many weapons around you. Now Purdy's doing it. I don't tune into the 49ers during the season because that's not my team. But looking at this game, you could tell he was forcing the football to Deebo Samuel. Double coverage, underthrowing the man. It was just horrible. This not for me to say, oh man, I want to see Patrick Mahomes lose. I'm just tired of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And early in the game, I was like, man, the Chiefs, y'all was better off letting the Ravens in the Super Bowl if y'all gonna play like this.